everybody, and welcome back to Devils United. We're back again with another preview, and we've got the lovely John with me today. John, how are you doing?
Good evening to you, Maisy. How are you doing? You okay? And thanks so much for having us on yet again.
It's always a pleasure to have you on. You know that, John.
Thank you. Oh, that's why we love you so much, and you're my favourite.
You're mine as well, always.
Oh, bless you.
Before we get into the game, we'll quickly go on to the comments. I know Ravi's already got 2 questions in regarding sporting, so we'll go into them a little bit later on. Good evening, Ravi. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. Good evening, Redbird. I hope that you are well. Thank you very much. And good evening, Niall. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. And Ravi said we're the best double act. There's no me without John. There's no John without me. It's getting like that now, isn't it, John?
Yeah, absolutely, Macy. Absolutely right. I mean, it was just fantastic together. We work hard together. You know what I mean? We got time together as well. And you know what? We have to call you Queen Macy for now. Queen Macy. I say anything to you, don't I?
Oh yeah. And hey, is it Leslie? Is it Leslie? Isn't it?
Leslie, yes, Leslie.
Yeah, hey Leslie, thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well, and thank you very, very much indeed for coming in. So we'll go on to the tie itself. I think for me, I know people are talking about Manchester United versus Seville. I actually think this is probably the most interesting tie in the Europa League. What about you, John?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, Macy. I mean, like both teams, dropped out of the Champions League for different reasons. There, not winning the match, not winning enough. I mean, Juventus, yeah. I mean, I don't think they've been that great in the Champions League. To be fair, do you know what I mean? They got beat home and away by Benfica. I mean, look. I mean, what's Max Allegri's trying to do? I mean, he's doing. Don't get us wrong, he's doing okay. But at the end of the day, I mean, they've been on a run in the Italian league since they got that 15 points deduction, yeah? And it gets beat off like teams like Roma as well. They got absolutely destroyed by Napoli, 5-1. I mean, Allegri loves playing his back three. He's flexible in his tactics, by the way. It depends on the opposition, by the way. He could play a 4-3-3. He could play a 4-2-3-1. But he loves the 3-5-2 formation because, he loves to be defensive as well. When they want to go forward, they can do. But I think this Juve team is going to play 4-3-3, but unfortunately, they're not really that attacking at all whatsoever. But they have been on a win and run, but they only just beat Verona, Hellas Verona by a goal at nil on Sunday. And, they only had 2 shots on target in that game. But can they make Champions League this season? Yes, they can. They put on a win and run. They got like 10 more games to go. And they still got to play Napoli at home. That's going to be tough for them, by the way.
Yeah, it is going to be very, very tough indeed for Juventus. And looking at Juventus as well, because I was looking at the last so many fixtures, they're literally people are right what they say about Allegri. He's a one goal kind of manager. Like, he will stick at the 1-0 and stay at it.
Exactly. This is 1-0 study. Excuse me. That's why beat Hellas by a goal and that's exactly the reason why. But they're not scoring a lot of goals. I mean, we know Vlahovic is going to be out for that game. He's a doubt for the game. So Alex Milik used to play for Napoli. Napoli played there for 5 seasons there. Well, 4 seasons. He had one where he left on his contract. But I mean, Milik, to be fair, I think he's done all right there. Do you know what I mean? So, kind of scoring goals. And if you look at the tactics as well, excuse me, they play a back 3. They play especially ex-Arsenal player in goal. The back 3, they normally play Gatti, Danilo, ex-Man City, by the way, and Bremer as well, the Brazilian, John Fontorino, in the summer. He's a good defender, he's a unit as well. They play the wing back as well, Quadrado as well, the right wing back. There's Rilo, left wing back. The midfield 3 is Vagioli, Locatelli, and Enzo Bamagia as well. But guess who can be making an appearance tomorrow, Macy?
Who?
Pogba.
Oh.
Because of Juve.com, he said, do Juve, Paul Pogba, and hoping to shake off their knocks and put something manager's disposal for the big showdown against Sporting tomorrow. So yes, it looks like he's fit. And and what it is, he hardly played. He hardly played this season, Pogba. Let's be real. And at one stage, they were all about getting rid of him. But at the end of the day, now he's kind of fit, and let's hope that Pogba comes in and put up a performance. Because I tell you, Juve fans are not happy with him in a minute. Injuries, why? And I'm glad you got rid.
I'm glad as well, I must be honest. And hey there, Liam. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. And thank you as well to Liam for upgrading his membership to Platinum Devils. I really, really appreciate that. It's an interesting one, Pogba, because like the thing is with Pogba, and you'll agree that he did have a lot of high ambitions because his first reign at Juventus, he was world class. And I don't like Pogba, and I'll admit he was world class at Juventus. He come to Manchester United. Whatever issue why he didn't do it at Man United, was it the club? Was it the Premier League? Was it the fact that there was no defensive midfielder? There could be multiple of different reasons why Pogba didn't fit Man United. But I just think for me is he grew a massive attitude problem, and just the same as Dele Alli, that boundary of the attitude problem is what's stopping him from being a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he said that he would come back to United. United's his home. He's come out and said that you paid an awful lot of money for this guy, 89 million quid, when you sold him for 800k, and he's been there for what, 4 seasons, yeah. And you know what it is, right? Juve love that kind of money sort of thing. You know what I mean? They bought for 800k, sold for 89 million, and Juve got him back on a free buy. And I tell you what, I think, man, you got absolutely fleeced by this guy. I'm telling you, by Juve. Juve just love this to say, yo, maybe your parent club, you know, he offers that sort of money. Listen to him, we're happy doing that. But look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, I think Pogba, he spent more time on the training, on the injury table than he is on the pitch. When he does play, he just goes missing. And that ain't good enough for Man United. It's not. Honest to God, it's not. You wasted 89 million of that quid there, right? Which is absolutely ludicrous. That money, right, could have got you a better midfielder, if you know what I mean. And I'm sorry, you could have gone. Two. Exactly. You could have gone for Bruno Guimaraes as well, 35 mil. Do you know what I mean? And he would have
could have probably got a bit cheaper back then as well, when we first got Pogba.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, play for Paranese, Atletico Paranese, Brazilian club, then moved on to Lyon. You could have easily got Lucas Paquetá as well, and the cheap as well. But you know what it is? I think you got the wrong player. You got the wrong midfielder. You really have.
Agreed. I really agree with that.
Not for me.
I completely agree with that. I'm talking of midfielders as well for Juventus. There's actually one who was linked to Manchester United in the summer who actually plays for Juventus, Rabiot.
Yes, listen, you got to love your Heaton, right? To be fair, I mean, he's out of contract at the end of the season, but I think he's had a good season for me. Do you know what I mean? I think he's playing really well. I mean, he gets on at the end of things, some free kicks well. Milinkovic-Savic, he's not, but I'm not going to lie. But you know what? He does look out for the team. He's a box-box player for me. I think he gets the ball, he does the simple things well, and he drives the ball forward as well. I like Rabiot. Whether people thinks he's good or not, for me personally, I think he's having a better season. Whether he's going to be out of contract at the end of the season, there's rumours saying that he could be signing a new deal. And you know what it is, Maisy, right? I mean, he's not that bad, and people make out to be. You know what I mean? People say, don't get him, he won't do much. He gets put a lot though, but I do like him. I think he's having a good season for me.
I'm literally looking at the stats as well for Rabiot this season, and Rabiot, he scored the most goals this season, 8 goals. Before that, his best season for goal scoring was 2020-21 with 4 in Serie A, and then he's got the most assists he's had ever in Serie A as well, and he's only ever he's not got any more than 2 assists. He's only 1 shot behind his total amount he did in the 2021 season as well. So he's massively improved, hasn't he, really?
He has indeed. He's always been a good player, Rabiot. I mean, look, at the end of the day, he was linked to us as well, and I wouldn't have any problems having him at Newcastle United at all whatsoever, because we need midfield, another midfield as well, preferably a CDM. I'm not going to lie, but I think this guy just gets better. What is he, 27, 28 now? And
28, yeah.
28, 6'2". And I think, look, whoever gets him in the summer, I think he had a good tournament in the World Cup as well. I'm not going to lie, he's one of the better players for France.
Agreed.
Let's be honest. And don't forget, he could have been a World Cup winner again. But I think Juve got him on a free buy from PSG. And yeah, I tell you what, if he's on the free next time, I think he should try again for him. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a really good player. I think he's so talented. I think he still is.
Another good player as well, but he's currently on loan, is Weston McKennie. I'm really surprised Juventus let him go on a loan like that as well.
I'm surprised as well because look, he's been in the first team, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, when he plays for Juventus, I think he's done all right. I mean, I think he's tireless in the midfield, gets booked a lot, drives the ball forward in the midfield, scores, and I like Winnie McKennie. I really, really do. And Juve fans cannot understand why that they sold him. They just cannot understand why. But for him to go from potential Champions League place to relegation battle, I think McKennie must be regretting that decision to leave Juve and go to Leeds. But maybe the Premier League or the lure of the Premier League has tempted him to play there.
And he's got a friend, Tyler Adams, at Leeds as well.
I like Tyler Adams as well. I really like Tyler Adams. I think he's one of the better players this season. I think he's the player of the season for me. In a holding role, like, do you know what I mean? He's so underrated that's gone underneath the radar. This guy has impressed us in every game. And I tell you something like Tyler Adams, he'll not be at Leeds if they get relegated. No way. He'll play for a top club. He is a terrific player.
When I went to America, everywhere I went, I seen billboards of Tyler Adams. Like, he's really, really appreciated in America. And you see, like, big people there in America. Like, Matt Turner, he's pretty big in the American team. And so's Pulisic. But it's Tyler Adams they're all looking at.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big name. He's a young player. I mean, the Americans loves him as well. The way he plays as well. And look, he's a top player. He's a really good player, Maisy. He really is. I'm being impressed with this guy. And, you know, watched him as well when they played against us. I think he's really good. For me personally, I mean, I wouldn't mind having him at Newcastle in the stadium. I think he would do some bits for us. I really do. Whoever gets him, he's going to do bits for it.
Yeah, I'd happily take Tyler Adams. I'd even take Weston McKennie as well. I like both the players. I think they're absolutely fantastic players, honestly. And touching as well a little bit on Milik, it's really weird, like Milik's career, because like I watched a tiny bit of Marseille. So I seen him at Marseille on loan like 2 seasons ago. And he really hit off. Like, he was probably averaging out about a goal every 2 games. But then when he signed for them permanently, he didn't get no games in him. And now he's gone on loan to Juventus, which is mad.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we know what happened there with Marseille. They had a coach there on Tudor as well, but he got sacked by Marseille. It was never really a fit for them anyway. When you manage Udinese and you go to Marseille, it's a different kettle of fish for me, to be honest with you. But lost his job there. Milik was going to be on a loan deal, gone on permanent, didn't work. Then he's gone to Juve on loan. I think Milik's a really, really, really good player. He really is good in the air. He's left-footed. He can hit the shots to his right as well. And he's quick as well for a big guy. And when he used to play for Napoli, he took over Higuain's place because he moved to PSG. And they spent 28 million on this guy. And I tell you something as well. I mean, when he went there, I said, good luck to the lad. It's going to be a hard act to follow Higuain. And he scored 20-odd goals in his first season for Napoli. And I thought he surprised us. He really surprised us. Good in the air. And scores. And I tell you, hold-up play is fantastic. And if Juventus gets some joy, it's going to come from him because Vlahovic is going to be out. And I think this guy is a brilliant player alongside Moise Kean. He plays up front in 3-5-2. So 2 up top. I think those 2 up front could cause some problems.
Not gonna lie, like you hear like all the strikers, like you hear Osimhen, Harry Kane, you hear Vlahovic, you hear Martinez from Inter Milan, and I think Milik, like like based off his record, he isn't appreciated in the football world as he really should be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Milik. Look, I like Milik. I think he's a cracking player, but he don't get injured a bit. But you know what it is, right? He doesn't get the credit that he deserves, in my opinion. He's Polish international as well, and he's done bits as well. I mean, he scored goals for Juve. I think he's a decent player, and it's going to be on loan. But I've got a sneaking feeling that this move could be a permanent one for him as well. So I just wish him really well when he does sign permanently. I think he wants it. I think he wants to move. Do you know what I mean? But it's just a shame that he's not in the Premier League. But also the player impressive as well. It's another wing back, Filip Kostic as well. Plays the left wing back. He's a really, really good left back. I mean, he's joined Juve at the latest. He's 29 years old now, and this guy, I'll tell you what, we want a left back, a left wing back. This guy's your guy. He can play left wing back, he can play on the wing as well. His left foot is beautiful. So he's got a beautiful left foot on him, by the way. Scores. And I've just been so impressed with this guy. And also another United player who is at Juve as well is Angel Di Maria. Di Maria. It should be Angel Di Me.
Di Maria is a swear word.
Dear me. I knew I had to come with that as well. But,
how good has he been playing? Let's just ask.
I like him. I mean, I think he's done all right. I mean, again, scores, runs at the defence. Do you know what I mean? He's 35 now. People's got to understand that. He's 35. He's still got a bit of pace on him. He had a wonderful game against Freiburg as well. He's got a cracking goal against Freiburg as well, the Bundesliga. Let's be real. I mean, I think he's still got it. He looks after himself. And, yeah, what can I say? I still think he's got it. Still a good player. Not the player that he was, but I still think he's got
it. Hey there, Nippon. Thanks for coming in. I hope that you are well. Yeah. I think the thing is, all Man United fans absolutely hate Di Maria, because of what happened in the past. But I think Sporting, they will end up matching that three at the back because Sporting always do play the three at the back system. In terms of they play usually a 3-4-2-1. So I think that'll probably be matching Juventus because they play roughly around the same formation as well, don't they?
Yeah, it depends on who they play, sort of thing. It's just I think they would probably go with a back three as well, and I think that's what they'll do, 3-5-2. I mean, like I said, back to Maria, 3 appearances in 4 goals in 3 games. That's the Europa League this season. And not based on Serie A, but based them on Europa League. So in the Serie A, he has played 18 games, 4 goals, 4 assists. So yeah, he's doing that. He's doing well. He's got signed on a 1-year deal, extended to another season. I think he'll have another season there, and then he'll probably go back home. But his contract expires at the end of the season. 1-year deal. I think he'll sign another 1 more year, and because he likes Juventus, you know what I mean. But he's a really good player.
From what I've been hearing with Juventus as well, that the point reductions, they're supposed to be getting them back again.
Wow, that's the first I've heard of. So I need to check up on that.
I literally heard reports that there was something like what was wrong, and they was looking at maybe getting them back again, which is mad because if they went and got there, I'm literally looking at the table right now, so I'm just gonna bring the Serie A table because they're on 44 points. So if they got their 50-point reduction back, they'd be on 59 points. So they'd be back in second place.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Juve are not very happy about it at all whatsoever. They're not. But this is not the first time they've done this. So back in 2006 or 2007, they they got done for financials as well, and they got relegated down to Serie A B. And also alongside,
was that something to do with the refs as well? Like
paying the refs,
like Juventus,
well, yeah,
and Milan done it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, paying the refs as well, and dodgy dealings going on with match fixing as well, and the refs as well. But Juve's done that before, and other clubs done it as well. Like Genoa got relegated. So did Fiorentina and Napoli as well. And Napoli went demoted by 2 divisions, so if memory serves us right. I could be wrong on that, but they had to play in Serie A, which is the 3rd division of Italian football, for 2 seasons. They got promoted up to Serie B and then up to Serie A. So, yeah, something's gone wrong there. It's not great, but, they got caught 15 points. I mean, all the teams around Serie A absolutely loved it. But would not be loving this if they get those 15 points back. And I believe a decision is going to be made very soon about getting those 15 points back. It's April the 19th appeal and get those 15 points back. And excuse me, if that appeal fails, then Juve will have to deal with it. Yeah, but they could be second place, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. So April the 19th is the date set. That's according to Football Italia, and it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
And looking at like the table as well, considering the 15-point reduction, you could even argue that Juventus is overachieving. And you look at the likes of Milan, Inter are really underachieving, because you would never expect Inter to be 5th and Milan to be in 4th.
No, not at all. Not this season. I mean, Inzaghi's under pressure, by the way, as well. If I'm honest with you, sort of thing. They've got to get Champions League this season. If they don't, that's going to be classed as a failure as well. And again, Lukaku hasn't really worked out for him in a minute. Like, he's not scoring a lot of goals. That is the thing. He's missing a lot of chances too. And he also drew with Salernitana in the last game over the weekend, 1 each, when their keeper, Onocha, if I can pronounce his name right, been fantastic. And they scored in the 90th minute, and that didn't please Inzaghi as well. And Milan, they've been in a poor run of form. We're back, I think it's after the World Cup. And I tell you what, Pioli is very lucky not to lose his job. Had he not won Serie A title last season and had a run like that, he'd be gone. He'd be gone, by the way. And
I know a lot of Milan's fans want him gone as well, saying that he's not good enough. And I've even heard people saying that they'd take Allegra.
Yeah, apparently so. That Milan's been linked with the Serbi as well. They be linked to him as well. And Milan will get a decent coach to go there, like, you know what I mean? So it depends on what you're going to pay. But Milan is a cracking club to manage if you get it right. And they're a demanding set of fans. You've got 2 sides. You've got the Milan as a poor side. You've got Inter, the rich side as well. So for me, I mean, out of the 2, who would you manage in Milan or Inter? For me, you have to say in history, Milan, but Inter have been a bigger team. You know what I mean? But under Conte, won the Serie A title, and then he went away. He left them because they had to sell the best players. But Roma, for me, they have to get Champions League football this season to satisfy it all, because Jose spent a lot of money in the summer. But he might not be there in the season because he owns insurance as well. He's given them targets who to go for, and he's waiting back. Lazio under Sarri, do you know what it is, Maisy? He's playing some beautiful football. Sarri ball, beautiful football. Milinkovic-Savic, I tell you what, he's on fire. That guy's been fantastic. You know what I mean? They beat Juve, by the way, the last game. I mean, the goals conceded were poor goals there, man. But Milinkovic-Savic, that guy is being linked with Newcastle and Arsenal. I hope he comes to us, because that guy is brilliant. He really is. And Napoli, they lost a couple of games, as you can see. I'm not going to lie, they got absolutely hammered by 4 goals to 0 at home to Milan, who will be facing each other and the San Siro in the Champions League as well. And yeah, what can I say, man? What can I say? They bounced back with a win over the weekend. So Napoli, as you can see, 16 points to hit. I made that another 4 or 5 more wins, and the title, we've gone back to the Diego Maradona Stadium, and that's the Italian Diego Maradona Stadium for the first time since 1990, where Diego Maradona last.
Wow.
Good there. Yeah. 33 years. 33
no one would have ever thought that, like, Napoli would be so dominant this season. Like, they were dominant in the Champions League and also in the league as well. It's crazy.
You know what it is, right? I mean, Napoli fans deserve success. Their fans are absolutely mental. They're mad. I've been there a couple of years ago, right? And even though it wasn't a sellout because the ticket price was too high against Gallery. So I brought a ticket for that game. It cost us something like €30 for that game. And I tell you what, absolutely loved it. People say be careful when you go to Naples, be streetwise, make sure you watch in your front pockets. They do pitch pocket as well. And you know what? I wasn't scared at all, Maisy. I was not scared at all because I tell you what, the people in Naples, who I spoke to, are really, really nice people. They really are. And you know what it is, right? I mean, the fans deserves it. They really do. And I tell you what, the city's going to be absolutely crazy. But I love to be there. I love to get a ticket for like an Napoli game, actually win the title. I love to buy a ticket.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Hey there, Static. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Hey there, American Cop. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Nippon has confirmed that Manchester City has scored.
Yes, they have. Wow, gee.
Brilliant. And England women are also losing against Australia.
Wow. Is that at home or is that away?
That would be at home. I'm not too sure where it's getting played, but I know it's at home. It's at the G-Tech Community Stadium, so it's at Brentford.
Wow. I tell you what, though, they got the World Cup in Australia. Are you going to do the watch-alongs for that game?
I'll be trying to do as many as I can because obviously I'll be in work, so I'll probably try and aim to do at least the England ones.
Cool. Because I'll probably be on Lottie's as well. Depends on the time as well. If I've got to work as well. If I don't work, I may do that. I may join yours as well or join Lottie as well. I'm going to join you both.
Yeah, I'd love that. Hey there, Paul. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. What I thought I'd do as well, I thought I'd show you the Portuguese league table because I think for me with the Europa League for Sporting, it's literally all they've got really left to play for. So here's the table. You can see it. It's clear Benfica's going to win the league. There's no question about that. They're on 71 points. Porto's in second with 64. So you look at that, you think, yeah, that's right. I wouldn't expect anything much different. Braga are really overachieving this season. But on the other hand, I think Sporting's really underachieved. Like they've already got a 5-point gap in between Braga and they played the same amount of games. So it's quite worrying the respect to Sporting that they could actually lose out on Champions League football, and it'll be the first time in a long time they haven't been in Champions League football.
Absolutely right. I mean, I'm shocked that they're not in the Champions League position as well. Is it top 3 goes opposite? Top 2?
Yeah, so it's first and second, they're automatically promoted. Third place go into the playoffs for the Champions League. And then if they don't win them, they go into the Europa League. And then Sporting, as it stands, are in the Europa League playoffs.
Wow. Well, the thing is, like, Sporting Lisbon are a good team. Yeah, I think they got some good players there as well. I like that Uruguayan lad, Agate as well. He's
fantastic.
He's fantastic, isn't he? Newcastle's been into him as well. The thing is, right, if they don't get Champions League this season, I think he could be soared as well. And I think we should go for the Portuguese market as well. I think this guy would be really, really good. He's got Champions League experience. I'm a fan of him. And he's a cracking player. And that Edwards, what a player he is. What a player. I mean, look, let's be real. I mean, he's having a cracking season as well for the Portuguese Giants as well. But Benfica being Benfica at Ramos, I can't remember his name, but Ramos as well. And this guy, he is a really, really good player.
He's fantastic at Benfica.
He is. I tell you also, I do like for Benfica, Rafa Silva.
Rafa Silva's great. I like Mario as well. He's fantastic. And who's at Porto, who we both know very well? Pepe.
He's still got it, hasn't he? He's still
got it.
He can still defend properly. He can still defend properly, can he?
Do you know, there's actually someone at Sporting who I think you may know very well, and so does Rather. Quartes.
Yes, Sebastian Quartes. Yes, he used to play for Sunderland and Uruguayan defender. He still plays for them as well. And he's doing well, isn't he? Not going to lie. And
he's the captain. And as a captain, he's won everything apart from a European trophy.
Exactly. So you just never know. They may, and they also got on your mate, Hector or Hecky V. Your mate, yeah.
Liam
You like that Hecky V?
Oh yeah.
Arsenal.
Liam's right though. A big chance for both sides to win silverware this season, and that the Europa League is very wide. And Ravi is right in this one as well. Sporting have sold a few good players, and there's going to be even more who's going to get sold in the summer if the Sporting don't get the Champions League. Ugarte, who we've already mentioned, as well as being linked to Newcastle, is linked to Tottenham, is linked to PSG, is linked to Barcelona. So he's linked to a fair few clubs all over. And I think it's something about 40, 50 million you could buy him for. Inacio, left-footed centre-back, he could be one who could be out, who won't be staying. Not too sure where he's linked to, but he has a release clause of 40 mil. That's not really that bad for a centre-back who's he's only around 22. He's made it into the Portugal squad now under Roberto Martinez, so he's made his debut into the first team. And on top of that, he's won the league, he's won the League Cup, he's won a lot of things. He's boyhood, is their boyhood come from their academy. Marcus Edwards, who you've already touched on as well, he's another cracking player, and he'd go for around 60 mil. And another one is Pedro Gonçalves. Do you remember that goal that was scored at the Emirates?
Yeah, I can. That lob, wasn't it? Oh, what a beautiful goal there. Absolutely beautiful. He caught Ramsdale well off this line, didn't he? My God, what a finish. Let's be real. What a finish. Mm-hmm. And they were shell-shot. They were absolutely shell-shot.
Mm-hmm. And with him, he's linked at the moment to Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think if Unai Emery's doing a fantastic job in a minute, like, you know what I mean? I think he's doing really well. And I'm not going to lie, but he'll not come cheap, by the way. He'll not come cheap.
I think it's something around 60 to 80 million that's Sporting are looking at getting him, like, selling him for.
Ooh, are they going to pay that money, though? Are they going to back...
That's a good question. The thing is that he's been Sporting's top goal scorer for the last 3 seasons, and I think he's the second highest goal scorer in the league. So if he's like back-to-back goal scoring, you need to get a proper good replacement to replace him, because he can play on the left wing, play in right wing, he could play as a false 9, and Ruben, the manager now, is converting him to a box-to-box midfielder because Sporting have let go of too many midfielders. One's got a season's injury, I think he's done something with his ACL. They sold Nunes like the week of the deadline day for 50 mil to Wolves, and they sold Palhinha for 15 million to Fulham. So they've literally only got 2 midfielders to cover for the whole season.
Wow. I'll tell you what, though, that's not good for a club like that. You need to have your players covered, Maisy. Do you know what I mean? That is really strange. They want the money as well. They really need the money as well. But they got so much money, they don't really need to sell.
You wouldn't think so. And what's mad is that Ruben in January, he only got 10 million budget to spend in. So I think he just got like a young. He got Diamande, another right-footed centre back, and he's such a beautiful player. He's so elegant on the ball, but I don't think that he would be starting in Thursday's game. I think he'll end up starting St. Just, who is the quick right centre back. Do you know that one who was able to pocket Martinelli very well?
Okay, and what's the player's name again, Mace?
St. Just, the one who was able to pocket Martinelli.
He's a Dutch lad, didn't he? He came from Mainz as well, German Bundesliga. Yeah, he's a really good defender. He's really talented as well, and I just can't believe
he like the quickest centre back in the German league last season.
He's one of them as well. He's one of the quickest defenders as well. Would you believe it or not? I mean, he's quick. I mean, he reads the game well, and he is your proper centre back. He really is your proper centre back as well. And he's a Dutch lad as well. And what I don't get, he's not even international, is he? He's not an international player. Do you know what I mean? He's not even called to the Dutch squad.
No.
Surely not. And that's a shame because I tell you, he's 26. I think he's a decent player. And, you know, lots of English clubs are linked to this guy, but he chose Sporting Lisbon as well. He's on a long-term deal anyway. So that guy is really good.
I think from what I remember, Sporting activated his release clause for like 20 mil.
I think that's an absolute bargain. That's a really good bargain. He's 6'1", and that's a bargain, Maisy. I mean, whoever Premier League try and get him, cool, go for it. I think he'd be decent.
The only problem is, though, he's riddled with injuries. Like, his injury record has been absolutely shocking this season. And hey there, Reese, thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. The thing is with him is that you've really got to, like, tread very carefully with him, because I'll show you his injury record for this season under Sporting. It's so bad. And because he's been easily probably Sporting's best centre back this season, and Diamante coming in January, I think he's been a fantastic person to have as well as him. But look, he's already picked up 3 separate injuries: muscular problem that's kept him out for 19 days, 3 games; an unknown injury what kept him out for 14 days, 3 games. And then another unknown injury, what kept him out for 46 games, 5 games. So if you're looking at that, you've got him out for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You kept him out for 11 days, 11 games altogether. And if you're thinking about that in the league, that's near enough half the league games that he's been out for.
That's not good at all. That is not really good. I didn't know he had that much injury sort of thing, but obviously you know a lot about Portuguese football. But that is quite a lot. That is a lot. 11 games missed. And I feel that's poor, absolutely poor record defense. You know what I mean? It's a shame. He's such a talented player, but it's injury records as well. So if you're going to do a medical, you got to do a stringent medical on this guy.
The only problem is that Sporting have had so many injuries this season. It got to the point where Sporting only had 1 fully fit centre back all season. If you thought of all centre backs, they only had 1 what was fully fit, which was Inacio. Quartes picked up injuries. Neto had a long-term injury. Just had an injury. They moved Roost onto a left wing back, and he picked up injuries. Pedro Porro, he had suspensions and he picked up a knock. It got to the point, Pedro Porro, you know him as a right wing back at
Tottenham.
And he was playing as a centre back for Sporting because they had no centre backs to cover.
I don't know what's the training like. Is it down to the training as well?
Everyone got injured. Everyone.
Exactly. I know. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know being in the training ground, but I will say, I mean, I think he must have worked hard there. He must be working so tough and so hard. It's come down to inches. No wonder they're fourth in the Portuguese league. Do you know what I mean?
And losing loads of people as well.
And losing loads of people as well. And that is the thing. But they need to be careful. 10 million budget, I think that's a lot for Sporting. Maybe
from 20. What I've read, if Sporting doesn't get Champions League, they'd only have 30 mil to spend in the summer.
30 million to spend? Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, they do buy like young Brazilians as well, and guys as well, so on a really cheap market as well, and that is the thing. But you'll get players who they think is going to fit enough for Sporting as well. They do get some players coming in, but maybe for a season or 2, and then they just sell them on, like they do Ugarte as well. I mean, Inacio could be another player as well, could be going as well. Maybe he's next season, do you know what I mean? But he's a terrific defender. He knows how to defend.
Absolutely. I think that's the problem, though. Sporting, they sell players on for good amount of money, because think about like the money they got for Nunes, Bruno Fernandes. Think about all the players they've sold over the years, because they've had fantastic youth players. They've had Leao, Patricio, the goalkeeper, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes. They've even had Eric Dyer. You think about all them players who's come into fantastic players. You think, why is your budget still so low? They don't put the investment into the team that they should be doing.
Exactly. And what did he do with the money as well? What did he really do with the money? That's another question as well. You don't know. I mean, does it go to the president's back pocket? Is he like a multi-millionaire or something like that? Is he there for the football? Does he really care? But you know what it is, right? They need to fork out. You know, they need to spend some money as well. Benfica spends a lot of money as well on players, on young Brazilians, and etc. as well. But yeah, you know what it is, right? I mean, something ain't quite right there. You got to spend the money. You got to sell them. I think their motto is to buy cheap and sell them on for big.
I think that's what it is,
and that is the way to do it. I thought that as well. That's how most clubs are now, and yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. But I think it's good. I think for me personally, I mean, he needs a bit more money. I hope he stays next season because he's a really good manager. Ruben's a really good manager. He's highly rated and he plays football the right way. Hello? Maisy, you're frozen. Maisy, you all right? I think she's frozen. Froze up, just don't know. I can't even type it in. Oh, she's frozen. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to cover the show if you don't mind. But I was just talking about Sporting Lisbon and, you know, against Juventus tomorrow or Thursday in the Europa League. And it's going to be a tough game. Maisy to sort out her internet out as well, which is not great whatsoever. I don't know what's happened there. But yeah, so I tried to look for some comments as well. I'm not going to read them all, unfortunately. But that should be Maisy's job as well. So,
from my
back? Yeah, there she is.
I connected to my personal hotspot.
Oh, bless you.
Well, I'll be fine now. But yeah, as we touched on with Sporting, it's not good at all when you think about all the people who's come through and the budget that they've got. But should we go into some of the questions what people have?
Yeah.
Yep. So, question from Ravi for thoughts on the way Sporting create chances in the game. I think the thing is with Sporting, they heavily rely on the wing backs and they heavily rely on the wingers. So they literally try and create chances from out wide. They don't really see. They don't have a person who can score from outside the box. They don't have Nunes for that anymore. So they're having to rely on the wide areas of Estadio, Nuno Santos, Trincao, Marcus Edwards, and Gonzalez, either to cut in the middle or pass it over to Paulinho or Jimenez. So that's the way Sporting create the chances. And I don't mind how they create chances as long as they score. Don't matter if it's a tap-in, don't matter if it's a world-class goal. It's one of them. Let's see. Question from Niall. Can you see both players from both clubs, Juventus and Sporting, being linked to summer moves in the Premier League? I will go with Juventus first because I know there is a few in Juventus who could go to the Premier League, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rabiot is out of contract at the end of the season, as has been well documented. He hasn't signed a new one as yet. I know there's a couple of English players who really want him. I think he'd be linked to him as well, by the way. Could be Tottenham as well. So that's one of them. I'll look at the team now, right? I mean, Milik's only on loan. I think the move to the Premiership has passed the ship to sail for him, unfortunately, because I think he'd be good enough for the Premier League. Bremer, he's on a long-term contract. I can't see him going anywhere soon. Locadell is an interesting one, being linked to Premier moves as well. I also wanted him as well. And Szczesny, he loves Juve too much, bless him. And I'll look at the other players as well who could do a really good job as well. And Bialovic as well could do a job in the Premier League. He's still young. And Moise Kean could be on the market in the summer, but Turkish clubs are after him as well. And Paradise as well. I mean, he could be off in the summer as well. As I think he's on the free, and Juve may not sign him as well. But for me personally, I mean, there could be one or two Juve players could be moving to the Premier League, but you got to be very quick. Otherwise, they could go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And for Sporting, we've already touched on Ugarte. He is one who's linked to the Premier League. Pedro Gonzalez, another one linked to the Premier League as well. So I think they would be the main two coming to the Premier League. I can't think of it. I don't know if Inacio, would he go to the Premier League? I know that Manchester United was interested last summer, but we ended up getting Martinez. So 40 mil, you can't complain out of that release clause. And Marcus Edwards, he probably want to take the chance in the Premier League again. I did hear about Trincao potentially going back to Wolves. If that's going to happen, I'm not too sure. But Trincao, he's currently on loan with Sporting, so I think he's there to try and rebuild his career. It's a bit like the Sarabia situation where Sarabia wasn't so good, and then he come into a fantastic player coming into this last season. We'll do Ravi's question here now. The thoughts on both teams' defense. Sporting's defense, it can be very leaky, but they've gotten great. Inacio's been great. Diamonde's been great. Saint Just has been great. I think Quartes is the only bit of the shaky one out of them, the ones I've mentioned. I don't think Neto will be playing, so it's just a matter of I think overall it's a decent defense, and I think if it does really show that if they was able to handle the Premier League holders right now. So if they was able to do that, then the defence is more than good enough, in my opinion. What about you, John, for Juventus?
Good question. For me, I mean, if you look at Juve's goals, they conceded. They still got a strong defence. I mean, they scored 24 goals. Then, I mean, Alex Teller, like scoring goals, 47. They conceded 24 this season in 29 games. So, I mean, look, when you do get beat, they got walloped 5-1 by Napoli. We know that as well. The defense can be a bit suspect as well. I mean, Bremer, he needs to do better as well. He is a good defender, but of late, some mistakes creeping in this game a little bit. It's not his fault, by the way. It's not his fault at all. I mean, Danilo as well. I mean, I don't think he's a defender. I really don't. I really don't think he's a centre back. And I think he's more like a like a fullback for me. But like I said, I mean, you got Bonucci as well. He's not getting the game Vate as well, and Vate as well. But and Bonucci's been the sub as well. I mean, he's coming on as a sub these days. But for me, they're still getting goals. I'm not going to lie, but they can be solid one week. They could be hopeless the other week. I can't lie, but I think Juve defense can be got at, but I think on a day they can be good, but they do concede silly goals like we saw against Lazio.
Question from Liam: key players for both teams. I'll let you do your key player for Juventus.
Key players for me. Thanks so much for asking that question there, Liam. The key players for me. I mean, it's got to be Di Maria. I mean, he can create anything as well when he's on this game. Rabiot, we spoke about him. Kostic, I like him at left wing back. I think he's a decent left wing back. Lovely left foot as well. Gets forward, bombs off and doing. Eye for goal as well. And he's really quick as well. Szczesny in goal. Yeah, he's still a decent goalkeeper. Fialovic won't be playing tomorrow. He's out injured. Milik will probably start in this place tomorrow. Maybe Kane as well. But for me tomorrow, I'm gonna say either Kostic or Di Maria. They need something to create in that midfield. Rabiot's a good player, but those three are key for me. And yeah, those three, maybe Milik as well. So yeah.
Sportings would have to be Marcus Edwards, Pedro Gonzalez, Ugarte as well. I think they would be the main three. I think Marito, he has had some fantastic spells, but we got him from Santa Clara, pretty cheap. But the only problem is that he's more of an attacking midfielder, and I just don't think he suits the system that Ruben plays. I don't think it's anything about the player, but I think he is starting to slowly get to that box to box kind of role. So I think they're probably the main players, because we really need to have that battle of the midfield, especially coming into the game. We'll answer Nipper's question because he wanted me to answer his question. Question for Maisy and John. Would you ever celebrate a Jordan Henderson England goal, given the fact he's played for Liverpool and once for Sunderland? I think for me, you can't take club football into consideration when it comes to country. At the end of the day, if he missed a penalty, I'd be angry because it's still my country. So I even know that he plays for a rival club. If he went and won us the World Cup, for instance, I'd be happy. I'm not gonna not be happy because of the player who he plays for.
Yeah, I could ask it. Well, for me, if he plays for England and he puts a performance on, then why not? Because at the end of the day, if he scores a winning goal, right, then you cheer for England, not Liverpool or Sunderland. Plays for England, yes, I'll judge him like that. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, obviously Gareth Southgate loves him. We've got to back him. Simple as that. And we've got to cheer for our country.
Exactly. Completely agree there with you, John. Question from Niall. Due to ongoing issues at Juventus, how many players do you think they'll sell before they're forced to do it?
Vlahovic is sellable. I mean, Locatelli is sellable as well. Kostic is sellable as well. So I think they can make some money out of those guys as well. I really do. Pogba, he's got when he's on it, then it could be sellable as well. How much are you going to get for this guy? I don't know. He's on a 4-year deal. Good luck with that.
It's his last big contract.
Exactly. Chiesa, I love Chiesa as well. If he plays and he's back to his best after that terrible injury he had, by the way, is he the same player? I hope he is. He's still young, and I'm a massive fan of him. Massive fan of him. And for me personally, they're gonna have to sell. They're gonna have to sell to balance the books. And if they lose this appeal, they don't get Champions League. They're gonna have to sell.
Exactly. Hey there, thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. What was you saying, John, anyway, about the selling?
I'm a massive Chiesa fan. This guy's absolutely brilliant. He really is. When he's match fit, this guy's brilliant. I mean, he takes on players, he's direct. And only I'm concerned about him, he fires it over the bar. That is the thing. Speaks perfect good English, by the way. He's been to learned in a Florence school. So big up to Federico. I think he's a really good winger as well. I'd take him at Newcastle myself. So for me, he's on what's a 2-year loan? I think he'd be worth 50 mil. When he's fully fit, he'd be worth 50 mil at least. No problems at all.
That answers Nippen's question. May's thoughts on Paulinho, how he's been able to stay on top of his game. Unfortunately, Paulinho has now picked up an injury. We don't know how long he's going to be injured for. We don't know what injury it is. Because I was there thinking, where's Paulinho? Because Chiremeni's been playing. I don't mind him. He's only a young kid. He plays more as the false 9 kind of role. So I don't mind that. Especially knowing that Sporting, for me, have got a big game against Juventus. And Ruben has even said, if you don't play well in the last 2 games they've played, don't think you're playing against Juventus. He literally come out and said it. Don't think you're playing against Juventus. So I think that just really shown that the players needed to be on their A game. And I think it's a bit of a shame because if Paulinho was fit, I think he would have been playing in that game because he's been fantastic in the Champions League this season, been fantastic in the Europa League. And he is the second player in history in European competitions to score both against Arsenal and Tottenham in one season.
That is amazing. Good player. I don't know a lot about this guy, but I heard some good things about him.
You know I love him.
He's gonna be a top biller. Top biller in the years to come. And I'm gonna have to agree. But we watch out for him. You're a big fan of him, are you?
I am. It's a good point here. La Liga and Bundesliga is a 2-club league. I think with the
La
La Liga, it's
La
always
Liga is.
Barcelona,
La
right?
Liga is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got
Bundesliga, though, it's always Bayern. Bayern.
all the
There's no
time.
one
You've
never
got,
different.
it's just you got like Dortmund as well. You got Leverkusen and stuff under Xabi Alonso. He's starting to get his act together now. Wins some games as well. And if you go back to the La Liga, right? We mentioned I said about Valencia, right? Cavani plays for them as well. They're in the bottom three.
Yeah.
Valencia, right? And 27 points. They lost three in the last 5 games. Only picked up 1 win in the last 5 games. And I tell you what, they're in serious trouble, Valencia. And I tell you what as well, if they get relegated, I tell you what, that'd be a major shock in Spanish football. Let's be real. Sevilla, 13th position, right? That ain't good. They should be challenging for the title at the most, right? But you look at the top 4, Barcelona, they're going to win the title, no doubt about that. Real Madrid 2nd, Atletico Madrid 3rd, Sociedad 4th. Those are going to be the top 4. I like Sociedad. I mean, they're a good side. Listen, Odegaard and Isak used to play for them, by the way. And let's be real, I think there's been some surprises in La Liga as well. And I tell you what, I'm very, very worried for Valencia. And I don't think Sevilla is safe neither.
Exactly. It is very, very interesting indeed. Reese has got a question for you, John. Your thoughts on Allegri this season, and do you think he's finally getting it right this season?
Look, I mean, they're not. I don't think they'll sack him because he's on a 4-year deal. So you have 2 years left on his contract. Let's be real. But for me, I think he's doing. I think he's doing better. I think he's doing okay this season. Second, would have been second in Serie A, but they would have been second by 1 point. But I do like Allegri. I think he's a decent manager. I really think he is. He may not be everyone's favourite, but he gets wins. That is the thing. And what you have to understand is he is a multiple Serie A title winner as well. So Ian, in India, I think he's a good coach. Do you know what I mean? If I had him at Newcastle, I would have no problems with him at all whatsoever. But yeah, I'll take him, and I think he's getting it right. But
I think he's one of them. He can really hold out. I think it's very hard when a team can really hold out like a 1-goal lead, because I think it's a very uncomfortable lead. And if anything, I think a 2-0 is more uncomfortable. And I think to manage to keep holding them 1 league wins, it's crazy.
I know he loves his 1-0 wins, doesn't he? Like, you know, he gets a goal, and then he goes and pull on the defense as well. And I tell you what. I mean, that's Allegri for you. I mean, he does. I've got to be honest with Allegri. He's not an exciting manager, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, exactly. He gets you the 3 points, and that's what matters. Yeah. So we'll finish off with 2 more questions in the chat. Ravi asked your thoughts on Arthur Mello loan. More like Arthur Marshmallow.
Oh man! Wow! He's just injured too much. That is the thing. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's eating too much marshmallows. Do you know what I mean? But it just hasn't worked out for him. Do you know what I mean? And it's a shame. And he hasn't been playing games. He's been injured as well, which is a damn shame because he's 26 years of age, right? He's still on loan for Juve, right? And he hasn't even played a game. He's not even cut the ball for Liverpool. He hasn't. And after the end of the 1-year loan deal, right, they could have an option paid for 37.5 million euros, right? That works out to be just over 30 million quid. And unfortunately, this year, right, he's been forced to train alone with Juve, and now he's being trained with the under 21s. What a shame, because this guy, when he is fit, I think this guy's a really good player. Really good player.
You know, the thing is, though, he's literally Man United's version of Martial this season. He's literally keeping the physiotherapist a living right now.
Yeah, it's a shame, really.
I like that.
It's a shame. I like it. But I have to agree with Devils as well. But placing the Pjanic as well wasn't the best of moves, by the way. I can't lie. But Barcelona were happy to get rid.
Well, exactly. They
And
get
they
rid
paid
of
a lot
players
of
for
money for this
dirt
guy.
cheap. They get rid of them for
Exactly.
dirt cheap because they need the money, don't they?
Exactly. That is the thing. Exactly. It's all about the money. The end of this on the dollar notes, dollar signs. You know what I mean?
No one pulled Chelsea's pants down more than Inter Milan and Barcelona for Romelu Lukaku and Aubameyang. Let's be real.
96 million quid. 96 mil. That is a lot of money. And you know what it is? Inter got the 96 mil. Guess what? He's on loan at Inter. And I reckon they could get him on a cheap as well.
Milan, literally though, they done the best business going.
Absolutely. They absolutely fleeced Chelsea, didn't they? Absolutely fleeced. Bit of breaking news about Jude Bellingham to Liverpool. That is now off.
Good.
They cannot afford it. And they cannot get Champions League, can they?
To be honest, though, I've always said that Jude Bellingham's going to Real Madrid because I think Modric is going to be retiring next season, and then it's going to be Kroos, Tuchel, and Jude Bellingham, midfield three.
Yeah, I like Tuchel. I really like that player. I really do. Beautiful.
I do
player.
like him, but I think it's a bit of a shame that I think Real Madrid fans really hype Tuchel to be the next Casemiro. We know nobody's like a Casemiro, and I think I think people have realised, haven't they? Now Casemiro's gone. It's a bit like Tuchel isn't like Casemiro. I think he's fantastic, and he has different aspects to his game that Casemiro, what he doesn't have compared to Casemiro. I think for me, I think Tuchel is more the defensive midfield. He's more like a modern day defensive midfielder. They like that one who likes to bring the forward a lot more as well, and he's happy to play as a box to box now and again.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I mean, I thought when they lost Casemiro, I thought, Real Madrid, what are you doing? This guy is still world class. It's you're getting their loss. And Modric could be off at the end of the season. But Tuchel, I think, is perfect in that role. Perfect in the CDM. I think he'd be brilliant. I mean, that place would be his at Madrid forever. He's that good. And he will be that good as well. And Caviglia, if I can pronounce his name right, I mean, he'll come good, yeah. And maybe in a couple of years' time, he'll come good. And he came for Rennes. And I'll tell you what, Real Madrid aren't stupid. They find players in a way. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Do you know what I mean? But back on Bellingham, I think he'll be going to Madrid. That's my guess. He'll be off to Madrid. Because once they come after you, you cannot stop them.
Exactly. I completely agree with you.
You know?
And we'll finish off with this final question from Ravi. Do you see the Portuguese and Italian league on the rise? I think the Italian league, for me, in my opinion, is probably the third biggest league in Europe, after the Premier League and La Liga. So I think for me, though, the Portuguese league is a very underrated league with the players they've got.
Yeah, the Portuguese has got up and coming talents as well. Like I said earlier about the Brazilians coming in and make it a better league, and they've produced as well. And on the Italian league, Serie A is back. Serie A is definitely back. Yeah, they've got some great teams there. I mean, look how many Italian teams left in the Champions League. I mean, Napoli, Inter,
the
Milan.
most.
That's
They've got the most, haven't they?
They got the most, aye. And all these people said Italian football's crap, it's boring. I suggest you watch a live game. I've been to live games of Italian football, yeah? And I'll tell you what, all right? I mean, it's so excited. If you've got players like a team like Sassuolo played Empoli, right, in a game, both attacking sides, Sassuolo's, the style of football they play, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, the guy that took over De Zerbi, right, I think is... and Maisy, I can't pronounce his name well, but I tell you what, they still play some cracking stuff. Yeah, exciting football. Do you know what I mean? Some teams do play exciting football. The Italian football is back on the up. It really is back on the up. And you know what? Make it come, because I tell you what, the Italian league, in my opinion, I still think it's the best league for me personally. But I tell you what, it will be officially the best league in the world one day. The Premier League's all about the money. The Italian football is all about the glamour. And I still think the Italian football's got the glamour too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I I have been watching more of the Italian league this season just because I haven't really been huge on it. I must be honest, I did start watching it once I actually went to Milan. I've been watching a few Milan games and I've watched a few Roma games. I know Reese ain't gonna like this when I say this, but I actually prefer Roma based off how they play at the moment. I know this is Milan's best team, but best season, but I do really like where Roma's going under Jose Mourinho. So I've been watching a lot more of Roma this season than I have of other teams. So I do quite like the Italian league, and I do agree that it is going to be a bigger league, and I do think the Portuguese league should definitely have a lot more recognition than it should do, because you won't think like, oh, look at all these world class players that come from this league. Like you just don't hear it, and you don't hear like, oh, look how they were cooking in that league. Like you just do not hear it at all, and they don't. It's the same with Paulinho. He didn't get the recognition until he actually left.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, Paulinho, you're Paulinho, or
Paulinho, the Fulham player.
Yeah. Oh, Ralph Paulinho. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, like, I didn't know a lot about this player, but obviously you did. And when he came in, I thought this guy was absolutely fantastic for Fulham. He's too good for Fulham. Too good. And I tell you
Agreed.
what, I hope we get him next season. I really do. I think this guy's going to be brilliant for Newcastle if we get him. But if he's available, I'll sure you be after him as well, like a shot. I know you will.
Oh, you know I would, John.
Hey!
But from what I've been hearing, Fulham won't let him go for any less than 80 mil. But he signed a 5-year deal at Fulham. So Fulham have got no reason to sell him very, very cheaply.
Exactly. I don't think he will. Fulham don't really need to sell, but if they come from that 80 mil, they can't turn that down, Fulham. No disrespect. But Maisy is the name for I was looking for Sassuolo, of course, Maisy. But look, at the end of the day, right, you're right. I mean, if it's available, then it's all about the money. At the end of the day, and if it pays that should be enough to pay that 80 mil, they can have it. Simple as that.
Exactly.
And I think that's the Premier League. We need a midfielder. And let's be real.
Agreed. I completely agree. Ravi's gone for 3-2 for Sporting. Now says 6-5 Sporting in a thriller game. Anyways, more serious, 3-1 Sporting, Paulinho hat-trick. Unfortunately, Paulinho, most likely, he is going to be injured in the game because he has been out for the last 2 games. So if he's going to be there, he'll probably be on the bench. And that's when actually he scored against Tottenham at home. Because I think from what I remember is Tottenham was 1-0 up, and then Paulinho scored a header in injury time. Do you remember I was on the stream with you and I was buzzing my head off?
Oh, man.
Paulinho got the header, and then Arthur got the last minute goal, last kick of the game.
I tell you what, Spurs have got it. Conte has got it as well. He was not laughing, I'm telling you. And he certainly wasn't cooking either. Do you know what I mean? Into 1-0 up, by the way.
I bet you're glad, aren't you?
Oh, yes. I want to see the Italian in the side.
To be honest, I wanted Inter to win because I don't like Benfica. Benfica are a horrible club.
You never liked them, didn't you?
No, they're a horrible club. Horrible Benfica. Come on, Inter.
Yes.
Barella scored.
Barella. Great player.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Brush, as well. Hope you are well. Thanks for coming in.
Big up, Brush.
John, what's your score prediction?
It could go either way. I mean, Spurs going to be more attacking than Juve. But if Juve can get away with a slight defeat, that'd be fine. But I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to say 2-2.
I had a draw as well. But I think if Sporting went and got a draw at Juventus's ground, I wouldn't mind that because they've got the second leg at home and they do have a great atmosphere at home. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Neither club can score for Toffee, so...
I know. You could be right. But that is the problem. Scoring goals is a major problem. But I think this game's going to be open tomorrow. I think Juve is going to have a goal tomorrow. I'm sure Sporting's going to have a goal as well. But and yeah, let's be real. I think it's gonna be a cracking game, and it should be an exciting game.
Agreed.
And it can go either way. It can go either way at Allianz.
Agreed. Thank you, John, for coming on. It's been a fantastic show as always with you.
Thank you very much indeed, having us on, love. And you know what? I just love your channel, your Maiz.
Would you like to shout out your socials, John?
Yeah, sure do. Thank you so much again. And if you can find us on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, it's John Sinclair TV. And if you find us on Insta, John Sinclair 50 as well. But I don't go on it as much, but by all means do so. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, it's John_NUFC42. And they follow us, I'll follow you guys back. And also, I've got a shirt of mine with Lottie, Arsenal fan. And yeah, can't wait for tomorrow for the Premier League prediction show. So I can't wait for that.
Go and give John a subscribe onto his channel. I'll put your link in the description as always. So go and check John's channel out. Vincent has said England women are down 2-0 now. So this will be their first loss, I think, since Canada. And that was in 2021. So it's been a long time since they've actually had the defeat, which is a shame. But all good things end eventually. And the main thing, I think, if we lose this game, but we absolutely smash the World Cup, I wouldn't mind, as long as that actually happens. So, thank you very, very much for John. I'll be next live myself on Friday. I'll be doing our Nottingham Forest preview. So go and check that out. Not got much planned this week. So, have a lovely weekend. Hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe to John as well. Take care. Enjoy European football. Bye-bye.